Hello YouTube, it's me Vdeogamer, and today I will be drawing two characters from Portal 2, Atlas and Peabody. These are the two robots that you play in co-op. So first I'm going to start off by figuring out exactly where I want to place these characters. And also, what I forgot to mention just a moment ago is that I'm also including a companion cube into this drawing as well. The first character we're going to draw for this is the companion cube. We're just going to start off by sort of making a sideways trapezoid going this way. I almost want to make it a little bit smaller. Then we're going to draw a square just off the side of that. This is actually going to be the original companion cube from the first portal. So on either one, what we're going to do first is we're going to draw a circle about the center of it, or on both sides, just like that. And then from there, what I'm going to do is I'm sort of going to start the outlining pieces that go around the entire thing. And then in between those corner pieces, I'm going to put another piece, sort of connected all together. The reason I have it separated away from the rest of this stuff here is because this stuff even slants down a bit, will sort of connect to this point, because it is partially 3D, I guess. We're just going to add in some connecting lines here on the sides. And then what makes the companion cube, is the heart that we're going to put in the center here. It's going to require us to draw another circle. Just simple as that. Sort of seems like an oval on the other side. And then we're going to draw a nice solid heart right in the center. And I sort of want to make that a little bit more even. Drawing a center line would probably help. And then off of that, we got 4 lines going across the entirety of the circle to connect to the edges. So now we're going to move on and actually start drawing the robots. First I'm going to start out with Atlas, and I sort of really need to make sure I place his body in the right spot at first, making sure that his legs aren't too short. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw in the eye as soon as I place the body. We're just going to start off with a rather large circle for it. We're going to have it looking up and to the side. So I'm still drawing Atlas's body in. I'm just working on the circle outline a bit more. Clear up the lines in here a little bit. And we're going to sort of start in on Atlas's eye. It's looking out that way. And all around inside this circle is just black, pretty much. It almost makes Atlas seem like he's sort of hopeful about whatever he might be looking at. So quite honestly, I'm not sure what he's looking at yet. And coming off of the eye, I have this mark coming down to the side. Above Atlas's eye, he's got this shield type looking thing. That's just sort of like a bent rectangle that sort of follows the circle shape a little bit. We're going to add that in right there. And we kind of got another one behind, but you can't really see that one very well. We're sort of going to put where we want his arm to start, going up this way. From the head, we're going to work on Atlas's arms, because those are going to cover a majority of the body. I want to do that by just sort of sketching in where we want the arms to go. I'm going to have Atlas holding his own portal gun here. His other arm's going to be coming around like that then. The other hand's going to be coming around right below that. Sort of worked a bit more on the portal gun here by smoothing out the edges, and I'm finding the portal gun a little hard to get it to be proportionate, so it'd be a good idea to have a picture of the portal gun to look at while you're trying to draw it. Come up, back up to the start of Atlas's arm. This part is, and we're sort of going to define it a bit more. Got a line there, or not really a line, but a part, or a detail mark. Then on this side, you can sort of see that that's separated a bit. I'm sort of going to curve up Atlas's eye a little bit more. For drawing the robot's arms, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw in the plates of armor that they have on their arms first, sort of as a reference point. Then from there, I'm going to draw in the parts that are found underneath. I'm not going to be super detailed with just drawing, I'm just going to get the gist of it, because there are way too many parts of these robots' arms for me to get them all. So back here we got this line coming down, and then we have his arm, or I guess it's not really his arm. First you got one cord like that, and then another one following just about the same, and then even a wire coming down into the next plate of armor. The next plate of armor just looks like this. It's got a square on the side with a light inside of it. This is the forwardmost part of the forearm. And then below that, we got the rest of the robot arm coming along. We're sort of going to have the arm twisted a bit, so it's holding the portal gun on the side here. And the robot's fingers aren't going to be too hard to draw, because they only consist of a couple of parts. We're sort of going to add a little bit of the same detail onto the other arm, just not as much. There's the square there. And then this arm is in the portal gun here. And there his arm curves back up into the other part. I think I need to back the shield that goes over Atlas's face up a bit. Because it seems like it's a little bit too close to his eyes. Or his eye. Wow, I'm not used to this at all. And coming off of the eye here, this line still continues to go up. Wait. And Atlas's portal gun actually has blue stripes going across it in the actual gameplay. Now we're going to draw Atlas's legs. We're going to do about the same technique we used for the other parts of the body, where we started off with the basic parts of the armor first. And then from there, we're going to draw the legs out. The legs are a little bit more complicated than the arms. For Atlas, first we're going to start out with the main beam coming down along his legs. I think that's pretty good for Atlas. Now I'm going to draw Peabody. So we're going to make sure that I've got it at the right height now in relation to Atlas. We sort of going to need to make the egg-shaped body of Peabody a little bit more rounded at the top. At the bottom as well. And Peabody's eye is about here on its face. Its eye is not nearly as big as Atlas's. And that's going to be black right around there. And just like we did for Atlas, we sort of need to include the bottoms of the eyelid and a little bit of the top, just to give it the expression we're looking for. It's just sort of happy / determined face. And as I've just now found, it seems as though Peabody's body consists of 2 parts. We're going to place the center or dividing line here. I sort of need to extend the lower body. I suppose what's weird about Peabody is that its body can actually sort of bend back a little bit. Now we're ready to start with adding the arms and all those other stuff. And Peabody's arm is going to come right out from there. I have the arm angle down like this, and Peabody's going to have its own portal gun. And we're going to continue working on the arms now. Now we're going to work on Peabody's legs. We're just going to start out like we've been doing, just with the armor first. We got this long leg plate here. I have the same on the other side. The difference being that it's the opposing side, or the underside of it, I guess. And then from there we got 2 long beams coming out of the legs. It pretty much goes all the way down across Peabody's leg to the foot. Got some wires coming down on the other one, and the armor is of course on the other side. We're just going to show a little bit of that on this side. And now that I've got my drawing actually drawn out, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take an ultrafine Sharpie marker. I'm going to pretty much outline everything in the drawing, or all the lines that I want to keep. This is going to allow me to erase the pencil lines once I get done, and it'll really clean up the drawing a lot. Alright, so I've got my characters outlined with the Sharpie now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an eraser. I'm going to get rid of all the underlined pencil lines as best as I can. I colored in sort of dark on some places, but this is going to clean it up a lot. And then for some certain spots, like around the eyes, I'm just going to take a fine point Sharpie and just color in, just to black it all out. There's only a few spots where you should do that, just the spots where we're not going to do any shading whatsoever. Okay, so now we're going to color the characters. First, what we're going to do is we're going to get their actual main colors down that makes them appear to be the characters they are. Like for Companion Cube, the only color it really has is in the pink and the heart. And for Atlas, the blue in its eye, or its blue glowing eye, I should say. Then for Peabody, it's orange eye. Sort of want to lighten up the companion cube heart a little bit more. A different shade of pink. Sort of going to outline the heart a little bit, just to give it a little bit of 3-dimension to it. For Atlas's eye, we want it to be really bright in appearance. Just like that. But we also want to sort of make it look like there are individual lines making up the eye. Like they actually look in the game itself. We're going to do about the same thing for Peabody. Going to lighten it up a bit. Then we're going to make some strokes coming out from the center to represent the eye itself, or the LEDs that compose the eye. All that we have to do from here is shade the robotic parts underneath and the white armor. I'm going to start out with the white, since that's going to probably be the easiest thing to shade first, because it's not going to be as harsh with the shading. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose where I want my lighting source to be. I'm going to say it's towards the front. That's what they're all looking at, is the light or whatever. And then I'm going to take a gray colored pencil. I'm going to shade to the back of the characters. Like, say, for Atlas, the majority of his back is going to be a grayish color. We're going to fade it in to the white just by shading carefully. For underneath this hood here, we're sort of going to add in a little bit more shading, just so you can tell that the hood is above Atlas's head. And we really want the area around Atlas's eye to be a little bit lighter. You're basically going to shade all the whites the same with the same type of gray. Make sure that you keep it lighter than everything else, because it is white after all. And for no apparent reason whatsoever, Atlas also has 2 extra colors on him. A green dot, or a green light on his left arm, and then a red dot, or red light on his other arm. And I don't understand why, because those colors don't really match anything that's going on. So now we're going to start working on the darker shades of gray, nearly almost to black. That'd be sort of the robotic parts that are not covered up by armor here. So we're going to start off with some mild grays, just cool grays and stuff like that. They're kind of all going to be the same color for the most part. Then on Peabody, has a lot of yellow accents on the arms, and a little bit on the leg down here. Just sort of bring out the colors a little bit more. Continue on with the shading. And going back to the companion cube, this is mostly going to be colored in gray here. It's going to be much darker on this side. And on this side, it's not going to be as dark. That's still going to be gray. We're going to add a little bit of edge to the emblem on the heart. Then since this side is in shadow, Going to go over it with a gray real quick. And just in general, that heart's going to be darker. Because of the side that it's on. And now we're going to take care of all the darker colors on these characters, such as the blacks on the portal gun. We're just gonna finish up the coloring by making sure that we got most of the pipes colored in right, or at least colored in. I'm not trying to be super accurate on this drawing, just trying to get a good drawing. What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to shade beneath the characters just to give them all shadows. And this is going to be away from the lighting source and sort of matching the shading we did on the characters themselves. By their feet, the shadow is going to be a little bit darker, and it's going to fade lighter as it goes away from them. And I think that's pretty much all I need to add to this drawing. I like keeping everything a little bit more contemporary without any backgrounds, that way it puts more emphasis on the characters. Well, I hope you guys liked this drawing. I had a lot of fun drawing it. It was a little difficult just because of all the details I had to include for the robotic parts, but other than that, I think this drawing turned out pretty great. You guys should subscribe if you liked the drawing. And this was also a request, but if you'd like to send me a request, go to my channel, go down to the moderators module, type in a request for your favorite video game character, and it just might show up as a tutorial of its own someday. Thank you guys for watching this video, and until next time, keep on drawing.
Subscribe too!
Bob, I'm not gonna keep that.